Have you ever wondered where the ancient Egyptians really came from? What if I told you their story didn't start along the Nile, but thousands of miles across the ocean, in the Americas? Let's unravel a hidden history that connects ancient Egypt to a lost American continent. The Greek historian Herodotus, often called the father of history, wrote that the Egyptians boasted their ancestors came from lands in the West and were the oldest people on Earth. Think about the Grand Canyon. In the early 1900s, newspapers reported on expeditions that allegedly found caves filled with artifacts resembling those from ancient Egypt. While mainstream archaeology has largely dismissed these claims, the stories persist, fueling speculation about a forgotten connection. Could these finds be evidence of an ancient people who traveled from the Americas to Africa? This challenges everything we've been taught. According to modern genetic discoveries, the finding of an incredibly ancient Y chromosome lineage in a man from South Carolina was found. This study, dubbed the father of all men, is 340,000 years old. That is potential proof that the oldest human roots might be found right here in the Americas. So, how would these ancient Americans have ended up in Egypt? Ancient texts and legends from around the world speak of great cataclysms, earth-shattering events that reshaped the globe. One powerful story comes from the traditions of the Maya. It tells of a great queen named Mu, who ruled over a magnificent land called Mu, located in the region of ancient Maya and Mesoamerica. This civilization was advanced and prosperous, but it was doomed. According to the legend, a series of devastating earthquakes and volcanic eruptions shook the land to its core. The continent began to sink beneath the waves, forcing Queen Mu and a group of survivors to flee. They set sail across the vast ocean, seeking refuge from the cataclysm. Their long journey eventually led them to the shores of North Africa, specifically to the fertile lands of the Nile Valley. Here, in this new land, Queen Mu and her people began to rebuild. They brought with them their knowledge, their culture, and their sacred traditions. Over time, Queen Mu's story evolved. She became a revered figure, a powerful goddess known to the Egyptians as Isis, the Divine Mother, the bringer of magic and civilization. If this story is true, it means that one of Egypt's most important deities was originally a queen from a sunken American continent. The origins of Egyptian civilization would therefore be inextricably linked to the ancient Americas. This isn't the only clue. Consider the names of places. When European explorers arrived in the Americas, they didn't find an empty, unnamed wilderness. They found a land already mapped out. With names given by the people who lived there for generations, many of these names are surprisingly familiar. Places we know today as Florida, California, Carolina, and New Mexico weren't named by the Spanish or English. These were the names used by the indigenous tribes. What's fascinating is how these ancient American place names echo across the globe, suggesting a shared linguistic and cultural heritage. It points to a time when a global civilization might have existed, with the Americas at its center. The tribes living on these lands were the inheritors of an ancient legacy, one that was nearly wiped out by a cataclysm but survived in fragments, in names, and in legends. Let's look deeper at the connections. We often think of pyramids as uniquely Egyptian, but incredible pyramid structures are found throughout Mesoamerica. The mathematical precision, the astronomical alignments, the similarities are too striking to be mere coincidence. Both cultures practiced mummification to preserve the body for the afterlife. Both used a form of hieroglyphic writing, and both revered the sun as a primary deity. Could these parallel developments have happened in complete isolation, on opposite sides of the world? Or is it more logical that they share a common ancestor, a mother culture that originated in the ancient Americas, as the story of Queen Mu suggests? This ancestral civilization, sometimes called Mu or Atlantis, could have been the source of the knowledge that later blossomed in both Egypt and Mesoamerica. The story goes that after a great fall, the survivors of the land of Mu in the Americas traveled to Egypt, where they would build civilization. Those who remained in the Americas became the ancestors of the Maya, Aztec, and other great civilizations. This theory reframes our entire understanding of ancient history. It suggests that civilization didn't begin in the Fertile Crescent and spread outwards. Instead, it may have originated in the West and spread globally, only to be forgotten after a worldwide catastrophe. This narrative flips the script on conventional history. It places the ancient Americas not as a new world discovered by Europeans, but as the old world, the true ancient homeland of humanity. The legends of the Maya, the writings of Herodotus, and the intriguing, though controversial, archaeological finds all point to a history that is far more complex and interconnected than we've been led to believe. The idea that ancient Egyptians were descendants of people from the Americas is a powerful one. It forces us to ask new questions and look at the evidence with fresh eyes. Maybe the pyramids of Giza and the pyramids of Chichen Itza are not just similar structures, but sister monuments built by related peoples. Maybe the story of Isis is not just a myth, but a distorted memory of a real queen who crossed an ocean. This is a journey into a history that has been hidden, dismissed, or forgotten. But the clues are there scattered across continents, in the names of our cities, in the ruins of our oldest monuments, and in the DNA of living people. It's a story that's still being uncovered, one piece at a time. By exploring these connections, we aren't just rewriting the history of ancient Egypt. We are rediscovering the lost legacy of the Americas and our own shared ancient past. What do you think? Could the Americas be the true cradle of civilization? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.